Looking at zombies today, it just isn't the same as it was back in the good old days. Wait. Before you click off, this isn't just one of those videos where I just shit on the new style and glaze the old style. I'm just simply asking the question, was it worth it? You may be asking yourself, what does that mean? Well, my pedigree chums, simply put, was it worth it to put replayability and progression above imagination in life? Because let's be real, how often do you go and say, wow, this new zombies map is one of the GOATs? Now, to understand exactly what I mean by this question and what side is actually right, we need to go to the beginning. World at War. Treyarch was making their second Call of Duty game, so some devs decided, hey, let's mess around a bit, have a bit of fun, let's create this little survival game mode with Nazis and zombies. Eventually, after some lead figures saw, they surprisingly greenlit the project and made it a bonus at the end of the campaign. This map will be called Nacht der Toten, or Night of the Undead. This will produce staples of the mode, like the mystery box, the ray gun, hell. From this, they would keep producing some maps and innovations like traps, perks, traversal, boss rounds, characters, story, all of it culminating to the biggest innovation, the Pack-a-Punch machine, making the game infinitely more replayable. Just starting out, we see so much innovation and care just in one game. Could there be a bit more creativity? Yes, but for the first outing, I'd say that this is more than a fair and good shot. Now, a few years later, we have a new game in town. That being Black Ops 1, the monumental Call of Duty that held the #1 most played Call of Duty for a long time. And zombies was being honed in this one. Now yes, I would say this one isn't as innovative as World at War. However, it uses those base functions and builds off of them, leading to more perks, characters, traps, boss zombies, and wonder weapons. And the grand slam of this game was the Easter eggs, giving a purpose to the game mode beyond just the survival aspect, giving something for people to look for or just achieve. And in total, this game was beyond creative. A ran down theater, the Pentagon, a beautiful jungle, a rocket test station, the harsh Siberia, and the fucking moon. It is beyond different and beyond creative, taking big swings, getting even bigger hits. And Dead Ops Arcade. Now that is a fucking game, taking everything that made the first amazing and honing them down to a science. Yes, there are problems and little gnats that can go end themselves, but it still is one of the most revolutionary and creative zombies games we've ever had. Then fast forward to Black Ops 2. It's a weird growth spurt in the Call of Duty franchise, where it was having a bit of an identity crisis. Jimmy Zielinski was the main man in charge, and even though Black Ops 1 was a smash hit, it looked like Black Ops 2 wasn't going in that same direction. The extremely hated Die Riders in Transit, plus the mixed Nuketown, they needed new blood, new life. Hey, who's this guy? Here comes the Saint Almighty Jason Blundell to come and add something the mode was craving: complexity and a scale, a new direction, leaving Ultimates for a new timeline, a premise timeline. So he went and casually made 2 of the GOAT maps, Mob of the Dead and Origins. Plus Jimmy had one last, a pretty solid map with Buried. This game was a passing of the torch, a step up. Before, Zombies was wacky, it was fun, but it wasn't a game mode in the respect of multiplayer or the campaign. And this game did that, and piled on that grandiose that was needed for a main game mode. Speaking of which, now, Black Ops 3, the cumulative sum of everything learned, puts the new method to the test. And guess what? It worked. Shadows of Evil, The Giant, Horizon Drag, Zetsubou no Shima, Garad Kurovi, all absolute and utter bangers.
And I know bangers!
Yes, Revelations was a bit of a downgrade, but even then, it wasn't terrible. And like I said, this was due to the old lessons being used, and then you add complexity and a sense of grandiose, and then make the story simple in nature but complex when investigated, and add
Dead Ops fucking arcade.
plus new features that just add to the fun, like specialists and gobblegums. And that was only round one, because they slammed us back with Zombies Chronicles, which was a remaster of basically every map coming before it, excluding maps that don't have the main four. This game is the legacy of Zombies, the efforts of 4 games to make the ultimate package of a pristine lineup, amazing mechanics, chronicles, and mods, making it infinitely replayable, infinitely fun, and infinitely, probably, technically, definitely the best. Now Zombies was on the main stage, so they had to put everything they had into this one, and 4 launch maps, which some are not bad, but mechanics, dog shit. Shields, specialists, elixirs, the fucking HUD! It downgraded everything that made Black Ops 3 the best Zombies title. So people rioted. They hated this split game that was focused more on the new and confusing chaos instead of ether. Jason tried to go in a new direction, making the once complex and expansive maps to be complicated and unfun. And didn't add Dead Ops Arcade. This game is not technically terrible, because the maps, even though some of them are kind of shitty, especially on the ether side, have a lot of good qualities. And we do like complexity. But they over-tuned it a lot, and made a lot of mechanics that made the game less than ideal to play. So it made this game really hated, for some just and some unjust reasons. Now this right here is a bit of a shift, where they wanted to go more into the modern zombies and stuff, so Treyarch did their best to appeal to, you know, our side. They tried to appeal to our fan base and try and kind of go into the direction that's been working. But it started to feel a lot less like Zombies and more like, I don't know, its own weird thing that didn't make sense. Now, Cold War Zombies, you were a fucking mess. The maps fucking reeked. There was only 4 maps, half of them.
For so many years, I thought that there was something wrong with me. That I was the black sheep and I needed to change my personality. And after a lot of time and consideration, I realized who I was. I'm a piece of shit.
The other half were,
I mean, it's alright, like...
Dead Ops reigned supreme, and Outbreak existed. Mechanically though, this game was a masterpiece. It changed so many problems. Perks, you have them. Guns, whatever you want. And don't even worry about shield, armor plates have your back, literally. Even though all players didn't love the new style, or the look of the game, the mechanics were fair and enjoyable, leading to more people than ever having their eyes on Call of Duty Zombies. They dipped less into the appeasing the Zombies fans and going for the whole of Call of Duty and appeasing all of their fans, not just our little group in the middle. This game was a trailblazer, but not a good game. It feels like World at War, in a way where it's like, it tests a lot of new concepts and, you know, it's kind of like trying a new mode entirely, and it slowly builds off of it with each, you know, new map. So the next game can soar above it. Speaking of soar, let's talk about Black Ops 6. Where should I begin? This game was pretty nice. It keeps that same progression that made Cold War so addicting, while making tweaks to the game in game progression so the game isn't a total snooze fest. And even though I have gripes, the game does do leaps and bounds better than its predecessor, except with one big fat problem: laziness. This game is going further into that corporate agenda direction, whether it's the AI voice actors or the reuse of iconic maps and items for the sake of the reaction. It feels like this game isn't that original in half of the gameplay. Don't get me wrong, I love how the story and atmosphere is leaning more and more into that beautiful chaos direction, but is grounded off of old milked assets. This game is the pinnacle of let's get it over with. Let's just streamline everything and put things in place for reactions and a few extra COD points squeezed out of their wallets. Now what happened? Obviously Black Ops 4 shook a lot of people, so a massive amount of people started hating and stopped playing, buying, or supporting the game entirely, opting to shit on the game and acclaim this as the worst Zombies title ever. Are we both looking at the same games here? Now, hindsight 2020, this game had many mechanical faults that didn't make it easy or too complex or just not fun. But there is value in depth to these maps, and the passion are boundless, and unlike many others we've ever seen. But they also learn a valuable lesson. We can't trust the fans. We can try to appeal to them, which is what they did. They tried to appeal to the fans that were already there and sing to their praises, and that blew up. And like I said, hindsight, it was criticism that was partially uncalled for. These were some amazing maps and with amazing aspects that are more for hardcore, but still that community still took a steamy shit on this game. So they went for a different angle. That angle being, let's appeal to the Call of Duty community, not the zombies community. Now yes, this would make a lot of the pre-established player base go away, but it could also grow in ways never imagined. And it did. The mode is technically bigger than ever, just not as vocal or passionate, but still there and still forking over that grain. And they doubled down on it on Black Ops 6. Now they have that imagination to an extent that older zombies titles had, just made for a larger audience. Was it worth it? The question that keeps coming back, that keeps on giving. And I'm here to tell you,
Nope.
it wasn't. This game, even though it has its perks, just isn't the same. And this isn't like an old zombies good, new zombies bad rant. It just doesn't hit the same spot. It feels like a fleeting moment, like another cash grab map app came out. Here's some money for some bundles and I will wait for the next map. Thank you, Treyarch. I remember when this community cared enough to talk about the mode in any way possible, to play it in many different ways that kept the game fresh and alive. They were chattering at their teeth for the newest map. The hype for each of those maps for Black Ops 1, 2, or 3 was unlike any other. Now today I feel like the hype is there, just not as big, or it's like not like a big event like it was. It's like, oh, there's another zombies map, came out, great. Money-wise, they made the right call. For security, they made the right call. They made the right call with Cold War and Black Ops 6. That has never been a doubt in my mind. Even if it doesn't hit the same, they made the right call. The one that is making them money, keeping their security out of a very specific fan base. So maybe the question isn't, was it worth it to switch to a larger and more secure fan base? Maybe the question is, was it worth it to expect too much? To expect perfection in a mode known for imperfection and problems. Look back and ask yourself, was Black Ops 4 worth hating? And if you tell yourself no, then there's no one that you can blame for this but yourself. If you think that Black Ops 4 wasn't worth all this trouble and for sure wasn't as bad as people made it out to believe, then it wasn't worth it. You made the mistake and now we're here. If you do think that it was that bad, then I guess then yeah, it was worth it. If zombies wasn't going in a good direction, you had to switch it. So the question is up to you. Was it worth it? Thank you for watching. This was a long one to make, so if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. It would make my day. Comment down below if you think it was worth it to hate it or to switch to this game archetype, whatever. Just tell me, I would love to know. Also click the link in the description for a video by my boy Cody. We made a video together. It's kind of dope. Support him. He deserves it. Thank you. And until next time, see ya.